The Liehuan LH-006 was made in 2022 by Beijing Xinboyuan Technology for PC. It is a wired pistol mouse with analog joystick. It is available in silver and black as shown here, or in gold and camouflage. Liehuan translates to hunting badger. The logo is a badger with a cobra in its mouth, which could be a cheeky stab at Razer, the logo of whom consists of 3 snake heads, and who uses a snake naming scheme on most of their mice. The Liehuan belongs to the complete pistol kind of gun mice, which look a bit toy-like and are more difficult to pull off in an office environment compared to other gun mice. The Liehuan's most prominent feature is the joystick on the left-hand side. Having a joystick on a mouse has been popularized by the company Lexip, but meanwhile, various other manufacturers, including established names such as Games and Asus, have brought their own offers. The joystick of the Liehuan is mapped to 5 keyboard keys, 1 for each cross direction and 1 as a click-in. The advertisement suggested Beijing Xinboyuan planned to make a configurator available and indicate key remapping and swapping between 4 directions on the joystick to 8, but as of making this review, no such program was released, not even in the domestic Chinese market. To continue the topic of weird advertisement, we should talk about the sensor. Beijing Xinboyuan Technology claims to use a PMW33 sensor. This is not a complete name though, and leaves a list of at least 15 sensor candidates, ranging from very good to mediocre. I decided to look up this sensor myself and was unpleasantly surprised to find a PAW5319, which is another step below the worst PMW33 sensor. These sensors are all made by Pixart Imaging, and none of them is terrible, but it's still frustrating being lied to. Yes, we live in times of unstable supply chain, but to forgo a 15 candidates list to downgrade to something substantially inferior without indication or change in the product number code is a scam. Instead, they should have limited their claim to use a Pixart sensor at all, which still would have been attractive advertisement, versatile yet flexible in turbulent economic times. The design of the Liehuan reminds me of the Act Labs gun with its prominent back. The pistol-style hand grip has aesthetic grooves, but is too short to be held like a pistol by an adult hand. Probably to make the gun look less frightening and more futuristic, at the front a second column goes down to the actual mouse area. The front of the gun and the top edge have plastic windows to RGB LEDs, which are illuminated in a breathing pattern. The color of the lights can be changed by pressing the frontmost button. The button right next to it toggles between 4 mouse resolutions: 1000, 2000, 3000 and 4000 dots per inch. These buttons rely on tactile push-button switches. Left and right mouse click are mapped to 2 triggers, which actuate quality sub-miniature microswitches made by Omron in Japan. Where normally a thumb rest would be, the joystick was placed, complicating holding the gun substantially. It appears the manufacturer knew that, and therefore made it easy to put the thumb on the joystick without spamming inputs. If the joystick is held down straight at one of its 4 directions, the keyboard stroke will just be executed once, and therefore the thumb can stay there if desired. In order to spam inputs, the user has to lightly press in a direction, not reaching the physical limit. If not trained, this can be a bit fiddly. Personally, I would have preferred if the joystick stem was removable, like in the Asus ROG Chakram. There you can put a plastic cap over the hole and have the mouse revert back to something more standard. Below the joystick there's a mouse wheel, which can be clicked in to act as the 3rd mouse button. Personally, I frequently unintentionally click it when scrolling up, which is bothersome. Large Teflon mouse gates at the bottom assure low friction and make the Liehuan convenient to maneuver. On the top of the gun is a functional USB hub, which is useful for small flash drives or dongles and such. Nominally requiring an electric current of 1 ampere, the Liehuan must be used with USB 3.1 Gen 2 or above. USB 2 and 1 cap off at 500 mA and connecting this mouse like that causes driver installation problems and won't have the lights turn up. The sturdy braided USB cable is flexible enough to not be of concern. For people who flinch at wired mice in the current year, I can't recommend mouse bungees enough, which negate a lot of the wire drag and make the wired experience more homogeneous. To test the performance of the Liehuan, I played Counter-Strike 2 with it. It tracked fast and precise. I struggled a bit to hold this mouse. The grip is too short to give sufficient space for my ring finger. Grabbing the handle too firmly unintentionally presses buttons. Furthermore, I found no good location to put my thumb and it got sore quickly. I ended up having my thumb hover relaxed at the side, further reducing my grasp on the already loose grip. This worked well for me, but removes even more semblance from the attempted pistol grip design origin. In my opinion, this ultimately challenges the Liehuan's high immersion use case. The mouse comes in a lovely fabric hard case, into which it fits snugly. On the front is a close-up of the Badger logo. The back shows product and manufacturer information. It also tells about the anti-key spamming functionality of the joystick. At the inside a little manual is printed. Personally, I'm happy to own the Liehuan for my collection, but it's nothing I wish to use. I purchased it for $50, but recently it can be found for as low as $30 and I think it's well worth that. It's carefully built and it looks very nice. I would just recommend it though to people who really like joystick mice and who happen to don't want to configure any key assignments. To me, thumb comfort is very important and overweights any inclusions of gimmicky features. This is the end of the review. My name is Ben. I thank you for viewing.